Good morning. I'm Deirdre Fitzpatrick.
And I'm Teo Torres. We want to get right now to breaking news. Manhunt for a murder suspect, Eric Abril, has now reached the 24-hour mark.
Abril escaped from the Sutter Roseville Medical Center early Sunday morning. He was then spotted in surveillance video off of Rainier Court in Rockland not long after. We do have team coverage for you this morning. Leticia Ordaz has more on who Eric Abril is, but we're going to start with Melanie Wingo with more on that overnight search.
It's been an all-hands-on-deck search, and we know that some law enforcement officers from other agencies beyond Placer County, Roseville, Rockland, they are involved in the search as well. And in fact, law enforcement has been combing through residential neighborhoods and green spaces for hours. They have focused their search on some of those areas where there might be some cover from vegetation, some wooded areas where the suspect might have had space to hide. This has been a massive manhunt that has been going on for 24 plus hours, as we've been reporting. We know that more than 200 law enforcement officers were involved in the search as of yesterday. And then we also know that officers have been checking home to home, one after another. They were even seen searching the trunks of cars leaving Sutter Roseville Medical Center yesterday, where the Placer County Sheriff's Office says Eric Abril had escaped just after 3 o'clock yesterday morning. So this morning, we drove around the Roseville and Rockland area, and we did see law enforcement vehicles on heavy patrol. We saw pretty much on all of the major thoroughfares some of those patrol vehicles driving around. We didn't see an emphasis on one particular area, just more of a presence around town. We were in the Green Bray neighborhood, and we saw some officers who had been searching near those green spaces with their flashlights on, and then they pulled back from the trail where they were located and took off in another direction. So we know that presence is out there. That manhunt continues. And as for what's happening with the Placer County Sheriff's Office, we know those officers are out in force as well. So we're going to keep an eye on things within this vicinity and let you know as soon as we find out where law enforcement officers are focusing their search. Reporting from Auburn this morning, Melanie Wingo, KCRA 3 News.
Yeah, Melanie, I mean, just so many questions 24 hours later about, like, how could this actually happen? Because even people who work in the hospital have pointed out there is so much security there when you have a prisoner being treated.
Yes, for sure. Lots of questions this morning.
All right. Thank you, Melanie Wingo, live for us this morning in Auburn. KCRA 3's Leticia Ordaz joins us now live with more on the location there in Roseville and how this played out.
Good morning. We're here at Sutter Medical Center in Roseville, and this is where the fugitive escaped from just yesterday. He had been brought here by ambulance since Thursday for an unknown medical condition, according to the sheriff. He was here for a few days before he escaped. Now this massive manhunt is underway. On security video, Abril is seen walking around with no shirt and the orange pants from the jail. Officials say a deputy was assigned as a 24-hour guard. So at this point, it's not clear how Abril was able to get out of the hospital and now a free man. An investigation is underway to figure out if procedures were followed.
I know there's a lot of questions surrounding this case, specifically surrounding the circumstances regarding the escape. Quite frankly, I have a lot of questions as well. I can assure the community that when the time is right, there will be a thorough investigation into how this was able to occur and whether there are any policy violations. But quite frankly, right now, all of our resources are focused on making sure we get Abril back into custody.
And the suspect, who is now a fugitive, had been in jail since April when he was arrested for a deadly shooting and a hostage situation at Mahaney Park in Roseville. He's accused of murdering the 72-year-old hostage. Abril is also facing charges for the attempted murder of a peace officer. The fugitive is a convicted felon who was being investigated for a freeway shooting prior to the hostage situation. You can find his long rap sheet of priors on the KCRA 3 app. For now, authorities say they're just focused on locating him and bringing him into custody so he doesn't hurt anyone else. Reporting live in Roseville, Leticia Ordaz, KCRA 3 News.
All right, thank you, Leticia. Well, the Placer County Sheriff's Office has set up this tip line for anybody to give information to investigators about a Brill. Numbers right there on your screen, 916-409-1257. We will, of course, bring you updates live on air and on the KCRA 3 app. Make sure to download the app for free and enable push alerts to have breaking news updates sent right to your cell phone.
Now let's go to KCRA 3 weather, and after one of the coolest July weekends I ever remember around this area, we are moving into the week, and wait until you see what's coming up.
Yeah, and what if I told you today is going to be the coolest day of the work week, and we're going up from the weekend, of course, but yeah, today is just the start of some hotter things to come if you look at it that way. A live look outside right now, Sutter Health Park here in West Sacramento. The flag's getting a little brush up there from just a trickle of the Delta breeze. It's been enough though to pull in some stratus clouds from the coast, and even though that wind is right now just at 3 miles an hour, it's comfortably keeping us in the 50s. So we'll hang on to those upper 50s just as we head through the 9 o'clock hour. Beyond that, as we hit 10 a.m., we're going to move into the lower 60s with bright sunshine and temperatures in the low 80s around 2 o'clock this afternoon. So we are going to start to feel the difference, especially as the afternoon warmth kind of builds in. But one thing that's really not building is going to be actually shrinking over the coming days is this marine there along the coast. And even though we've had it move up close to 1,000 feet this morning with a few stratus clouds moving into Sacramento, I do anticipate over the coming days it's going to compress a bit more, and most of this Delta breeze will start to go away. As that happens, we do start to heat up, and today expecting high temperatures in the valley floor in the lower 90s, while the foothills will run warmer. Areas like Auburn and Placerville punching up a high today of about 86 degrees. Coming up in your full forecast, I'll break down when we're going to be seeing triple digits this week and how long the heat could last. It's 6:07. Headed over to Erin, who's looking at your roadways.
Yeah, thanks, Tamara. And we have a traffic hazard. This on 50 westbound Stockton Boulevard, that ramp right there, lane number 3. It actually has a large car parked in the middle of that lane, and CHP is trying to address that right now, not causing any backups or any accidents at this time, but just something to be aware of. The rest of Sacramento looking absolutely fantastic this morning. No incidents to speak of. Stockton, the absolute same. If we take a larger look, Lathrop, Manteca looking great. Tracy, on the other hand, a lot of slow and go, especially at this time in the morning. If we take a look, no incidents though. Hey, so that's good news. Let's take a look at drive times. Drive times right now, 31 minutes, I-5 to 580, 27 minutes, 205 to 680. Sacramento looking fantastic so far, mostly in the green. Back to you.
All right, thank you. Sacramento police spent the night trying to determine what caused a deadly crash that happened between a car and some pedestrians. It happened out on Richards Boulevard at Jaboom Street just after 6:30 last night. Police say that 4 people were injured, including 2 minors and 2 adults. 1 woman died at the scene. The other adult and 2 minors have critical injuries, and they are in the hospital this morning. The cause of that crash right now is under investigation. Meanwhile, the Stanislaus County Sheriff's Office is now investigating a shooting death of a woman in the Modesto area at a motel. Deputies were called out to the Driftwood Inn on South 9th Street near Highway 99 early Saturday morning. They found a woman with gunshot wounds. The victim was identified as 34-year-old Natasha Irizarry of Ceres, and investigators are urging anyone who knows anything about this to please call the Stanislaus County Sheriff's Department, or you could also call Crime Stoppers. This morning we have found out that the man who had to be rescued from a house fire in Sacramento County has now died of his injuries. Metro Fire says that it got a call about a fire at a house that was near Watt and Don Julio Boulevard on Saturday. It's in the North Highlands area. They arrived, they saw smoke coming out of the house, and quickly they jumped to action. And they did contain the fire to just the bedroom, but the man had to go to the hospital because of some serious injuries. At this point, the cause of this house fire is under investigation.
Well, happening right now, President Biden is at Windsor Castle meeting with King Charles III. Seeing this video shot not too long ago. He arrived a little over an hour ago, and then the two attended a climate event. We'll keep following this throughout the morning. Well, before that, the president sat down with Prime Minister Rishi Sunak in a garden at 10 Downing Street. This is their 6th meeting in 6 months. KCRA 3's Amy Lou is in our Washington newsroom this morning with a look at the president's goals for this trip.
Well, President Biden is meeting with Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and other European leaders as part of the administration's work to keep the U.S. a top economic and military power.
Couldn't be meeting with a closer friend and a greater ally.
President Biden in the UK meeting with Prime Minister Sunak and later King Charles talking first clean energy before the war in Ukraine. As the Biden administration prepares to send cluster bombs to support Ukrainian forces, the president will face tough questions from allies and NATO members, pouring in more military aid to win back Russian-held territory.
They either have the weapons to stop the Russians now keep them from stopping the Ukrainian offensive through these areas, or they don't.
While Biden rallies to strengthen NATO and support Ukraine, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is wrapping up her high-stakes trip to China.
I feel confident that we will have more frequent and regular communication.
Speaking with leaders to revive strained ties and balancing competition between both countries, from the economy to the military.
We're sending a message to authoritarian bullies everywhere that America is not neutral when it comes to trying to redraw borders through military aggression.
And Biden will be traveling to Lithuania today. 3, 2, 1. And Biden will be traveling to Lithuania today for a meeting with NATO members. They'll welcome new member Finland. In Washington, I'm Amy Liu, KCRA 3 News.
All right, moving on. Developments this morning on Sweden's membership in NATO. Turkey and Hungary have continued to block it. But this morning, Turkey's president is offering a quid pro quo. He'll approve Sweden's membership if European countries, quote, open the way for his country to join the European Union. Turkey's membership to the EU had been stalled due to democratic issues in its capital city and its conflict with Cyprus, another EU member.